7. Back in 2008, the gin brand Bombay decided to partner up with Garrard, one of London's most well-known jewellery houses, and their in-house designer Kareem Rashid to bring forth what can only be described as some of the most stylish bottles of alcohol on the market. The baccarat crystals paired with sapphires and diamonds are seamlessly brought together to create gloriously elegant designs that are able to satisfy any taste. With 5 one-of-a-kind handcrafted designs, you can rest assured that you will find a source of enjoyment out of this particular purchase, even after you're done drinking it. Number 9. This rare blend of Royal Salute's finest offerings, which mainly consist of whiskies that have been aged for at least 45 years, make up one of the rarest and most expensive drinks that the world has to offer. That being said, its undeniably rich, smooth taste is definitely worth the expenditure, especially when you take into account that this particular spirit was created as homage to the oldest jewels in the British Isles, the honours of Scotland. If its richness in flavour wasn't enough, the jewels gracing the outside of the bottle may be just enough to sway you. Royal Salute cannot help but boast about how the bottle is embedded with 413 white and black diamonds, and 22 carats worth of gemstones that are all set in either gold or silver. At that point, who can possibly blame them? Number 8. While no one may know why it's called the Dalmore 62, it sure has gotten a lot of media coverage. The sheer rarity of this single malt Scotch whisky is enough to account for a pretty penny, especially when you consider that there were only 12 bottles made. But somewhere in the $200,000 range seems a little excessive, don't you think? But, rest assured, that it wasn't always like that. Just like the nature of any good investment, the value of the product has risen substantially over the past decade, which then resulted in the price jumping almost $150,000 between its initial release in 2001 and when the last bottle was sold in 2011. Sure, a lot of people haven't actually tasted the spirit, but apparently it's absolutely phenomenal, which means that at least you're paying for more than just a pretty decanter. Even so, it is hand-blown and contains a 12-point stag head made up of platinum, meaning that this Dalmore made up of single malt Scotch whiskies from 1868, 1876, 1926 and 1939 is pretty spectacular on the outside. Number 7. Armand de Brignac has never been a cheap bottle of champagne, but their Midas variation of this elite brand goes above and beyond what is typically considered to be an expensive bottle of alcohol. Contained in a metal bottle from the neck downward, this 30-liter vat is also so large that the accumulated pressure will probably force you to pop the cork using all of your hand strength, while someone else holds it from the bottom. Then again, when you find out that the brand was bought out by singer and entrepreneur Jay-Z in 2013 and the bottle was designed by a 14-year-old Flavor Flav, the extreme nature of it all starts to make a little more sense. Number 6. As if breaking the record for the most expensive bottle of single malt whiskey wasn't enough, the weight of this particular bottle is just mind-blowing. With there only being 4 of these in the world, as well as having a decanter make of a lot of crystals, it is seemingly obvious that this would be an expensive bottle of whiskey. But who knew that the numbers would go that high? Then again, when you find out that the empty decanter weighs close to 25 pounds, and each one took over 17 craftsmen and 50 hours to create, maybe $625,000 doesn't seem so extreme after all. Number 5. While Macallan's 64-year-old single malt whiskey may not be the most popular beverage that the brand has ever developed, it sure is one of their most costly ones. Having been a combined effort between Macallan and Lalloch, a big crystal developer, they celebrated the 150th birthday of René Lalloch, a crystal artisan, in a very special way. This project was put into motion as a means to generate funds for charity, which aims to bring clean drinking water to those who are not fortunate enough to have it. Thankfully, their mission was a success and the aged whiskey in its mesmerizing decanter sold at a New York auction back in 2010 for a whopping $460,000. Number 4. Mendes was the first company in the world to take coconuts and transform them from the typical fruit that you see hanging from a tree into a clear liquor that was fully distilled in casks made from a special Hamila wood. On top of that, how often do you have the opportunity to literally own a bottle that was signed, dated and numbered by the House of Mendes founder, William Mendes? Then again, if you aren't one of the lucky few who just so happen to be at the 49 Grove Lounge in New York City and don't have $1 million to spend on a bottle, you can always sit around and wait for a free tasting somewhere. Somehow. Right? Number 3. So, you may be wondering what makes this particular vodka any different from those that you find at your liquor store. That is, if you are able to forget about how part of its triple filtering process involved semi-precious stones. If that amount of bling wasn't enough for your liking, maybe the bottle's core made out of Swarovski crystals that are simply piled on top of one another may begin to spark your interest. Still not enough? Well, in that case, you may just want to scroll on down to the next entry. Number 2. The Henri IV Dudognan Heritage Cognac Grand Champagne is truly one of a kind both in its contents and packaging. This particular liquor was dubbed the DNA of all cognac, and this is probably because of its 100-year aging process, as well as its first production date of 1776. In addition, its lavish nature is then translated into a bottle that is nothing short of royal. Dipped in 24K gold, as well as platinum, and then shortly followed by its decoration by 6,500 brilliant diamonds, you really do get what you pay for with this special treat. Besides, it's not every day that you can say that you own something forged by the hands of Henri IV's descendants, so a couple million seems like a reasonable price to fulfill such an opportunity, don't you think? Number 1. Distantly related to the Henri IV Dudognan Heritage Cognac Grand Champagne due to their connections with late .925, their remarkably similar bottles and extreme price tag are where the similarities between these two drinks stop. Mirroring all that is extreme, the container holding the fermented liquid is fashioned using white gold and platinum and then studded with 6,400 diamonds by the hands of CEO Fernando Altamirano. So, if you're looking to splurge on a 4-year-old drink made from blue agave that is fermented to perfection, then this is the drink for you. Besides, a party is never complete without some sort of over-the-top element, so this wonderful Anejo tequila will do just fine.